Okay, so I got some big news to start. Guys, the golem is free. He still smells like watermelon, and he is a little goopy, to be honest. I feel like this figurine was not meant to get wet, or... Because, like, the paint on it is, like, scraping off already. Also, it's, like, metal on the inside. I did not expect that, but, hey, it's finally free. Although, I do also have some slightly bigger news as well. Guys, I bought it. Yeah, you guys got me interested enough. I kind of came to the conclusion that I was probably never going to own the Switch version, so I went on eBay and found the PS4 version for like $30. Not bad in my opinion. It's interesting so far. I've been playing it, I just beat episode 2, and I'd say at this point I'd place it over the Witherstorm arc, but below the Portal arc. To rapid fire some quick, hopefully not super spoilerly opinions real quick, I have mixed feelings on the admin. I like their architecture and hacked mobs, especially the shulkers. Oh my god, we got to see those in story mode after all. But kind of fear they'll add up to some kind of metafiction reveal that I don't feel suits this universe super well. Jack's not really doing it for me. Nurm I'm finding interesting. Radar's kind of annoying, but I'm trying to be super nice to him in this playthrough, if only because I feel like most people wouldn't. Stella's ramping up to be a villain I enjoy. I don't know, adversaries that get their way through manipulation rather than raw power always tend to be super nice of a change of pace to me. Although her design does kind of bother me, if only because I can't look at her and not think of Clavier Gavin. Like, seriously, blonde hair, purple suit, like, that's Clavier Gavin, alright? And I already like Luna way more than I ever liked Ruben. For starters, she doesn't make expressions that make me question reality, like she is actually cute and charming and a pretty good animal mascot. I never thought getting bonked in the stomach would be such a good first impression, but then again, what else would you expect from this Gatekeep Nightlight super boss? Oh my goodness, I actually died a couple times in this game so far, and when I did, the checkpointing was much more lenient, thank God. They also tried, like, an actual honest-to-God combat system, complete with a dodge roll, which is still pretty jank, but it beats these sections and having to do QuickTime events any day. And since I'm not transferring my save over, I decided for the variety of it to play as one of the female avatars. And let me tell you, after about 10 or so hours of hearing male Jesse interact with these characters, it feels weird to hear someone else doing it. Not like a bad kind of weird, but just very different. I swear, I never considered it until now, but you could probably use this duology as a case study in how interesting the topic of voice direction can be. Because despite either gender sharing the identical lines, Patton Oswalt Jesse and Catherine Tapper Jesse will often read them just a little bit differently or enunciate different parts of their sentences to put more emphasis on different lines, and it can really prove to change your perception of them after a while. Almost like they're two completely different characters that just happen to have the same name, as opposed to a single avatar you can choose the appearance of, like it is in a lot of games. Does anyone else feel that way about these two, or I guess 12 technically? God, what an unconventional way to do a blank slate protagonist, but it certainly makes her something memorable. But yeah, I'd say I'm enjoying Season 2. I haven't decided if I'd like to make a video on it quite yet, and even if I would, it's certainly not going to be the next essay I do, but I'm glad I'm giving it a shot, so thanks everyone. Chapter 7 begins with more of us exploring random portals trying to get back home, although this time it's accompanied by a wacky montage. This part's kind of funny actually. There's a lot of gags involving stuff that follows them through the portals when they return to the hallway, like bats, a bunch of sheep, yes! A bunch of water, just a guy. It's implied here too that Lucas has begun taking notes about these worlds. You know, something kind of crossed my mind around this point of the game. Using different portals to warp to different worlds, all with seemingly random themes, and with a bit of a horror element to them, as they all seem super dangerous, unpredictable, can be kind of confusing and leave you missing home. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Advent of Ascension. Have you guys ever heard of this mod? I'm not really a modding guy for Minecraft per se, but this is one I got super curious about, and it's surprisingly fun. Like, I got kind of into this, like, playing this on my personal time at one point. The big gimmick of it is it features about 20 brand new dimensions that you can access with portals, and these dimensions are kind of all over the place in terms of theming. They got everything from floating island dimensions to prehistoric ones, underground wastelands, mushroom dimensions, a dust-themed one that's a massive toxic swamp that you need to wear some kind of hazmat suit to even enter, an underwater one, a clown-themed one. There's also like a candy one. I think it'd be too far of a stretch to say that one of these was inspired by the other here, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't extremely reminded of Ascension's weird dimensions when playing the story arc. You know, is it weird that I've kind of considered making a video about that at one point? I'm not sure if it'd be like a Let's Play or like a short review, but like, it's really interesting and I'd love to talk about it more in a video at some point. Anyway, getting frustrated that we've made no progress in getting home since we got here, Petra makes an executive decision to go through this portal, which is adorned with redstone, figuring where there's redstone, there's smart people. Smart people who could theoretically get us back home? That's as good an idea as any, so let's go. The portal takes us to some kind of mesa. These are a pretty rare biome in Minecraft, most notably being one of few places in the game where you can find red sand. We quickly come across our first strange oddity. A zombie. Not just any zombie, though. This one is out in broad daylight. Strange, considering they're supposed to burn up during the day. And it has a robotic chip on the back of its head.
Works for me.
Okay, that crack your neck to get ready trope does not work with these body shapes. The zombie is also surprisingly strong. It seems to have more health and even some kind of super armor. And when more approach, we notice they're coordinated as well, like they move in sync. They walk as one, stop as one, even...
In my head! I don't know what they're doing exactly, but it is definitely time to get out of here.
Make dial-up internet sounds? You know, is it just me, or does it feel like we've heard that a few times in horror games in recent years? I don't know. I mean, out of context, it does sound kind of scary, I guess, and most Zoomers nowadays probably have no idea what it is, so yeah, why not appropriate into some kind of horror sound effect? They eventually turn around and start to move out, and we figured it'd be best to follow them. Maybe it could lead us closer to what exactly is going on here. I gotta say, this chapter is really good at building mystery. Like, this is something consistent throughout the entire thing. It's all paced really well, questions are piled on in a way that's confusing to the player, but slow enough that they have enough time to consider each mystery themselves, or get overwhelmed enough that they stop paying attention. Dare I say, this might be the scariest chapter in the game for reasons like this, and to jump ahead, the one with probably my favorite villain too, both in terms of how they're written and the threat they could bring to this world. We follow them to this abandoned town called Crown Mesa. Population, over 1K. Coulda fooled me. We find some penned chickens as well as a single person, also with those weird devices stuck to their craniums, making them act in unison and completely ignore us. We then notice something else. Someone who's not chipped and is acting normally. She's very clearly surprised to see us and starts to explain what's going on here, though all we can really get out of her right now is that the person behind this chip thing is named PAMA.
Who's PAMA?
Ha! Like you seriously expect me to fall for that one? Must think I'm some sort of... Wait, you're serious? You don't know?
We look outside and notice more of the people walking this way. The lady dips and we get bonked and wake up... Oh, what is this?
My apologies for the violent nature of this visit.
Whoa, whoa! This is PAMA. The voice is very obviously very distorted, but the bass voice itself is Jason Topolsky, who is probably most well known for directing Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. What? I love this thing's voice. Whatever effect they apply to Jason's vocals here are extremely effective at making it sound equal parts robotic, booming, creepy, and also quite unlike anything I've seen before when it comes to robotic voices.
Okay, if this world's so perfect, what happened to all the people?
Yeah, doesn't seem like there are that many left.
PAMA will process that. I love how it's animated too. Like, it really is just a simple pixelated face, but it just looks cool while still being kind of threatening. PAMA was created for the greater good, specifically to optimize things, such as making farming easier and making monsters less of a threat by domesticating them, although the machine then grew out of control and began thinking that it had to make everything more optimized, including the very people it was made to help. So, this is the purpose of the chips. Anything they're placed onto will then be controlled by PAMA, who will in turn make them more efficient at everything, or useful. Also, get used to hearing those words. Oh my god, the word useful appears so much in this chapter. And its ultimate goal is to have its mind-controlled people leave this world via an exit portal, enter other worlds, and do there exactly what it did here. Oh my goodness. Gonna be honest, that's like a worse fate than whatever the Witherstorm was doing. That thing was just a big monster that destroyed everything just for the sake of destroying everything. PAMA wants every living creature in the universe under its control to make everything efficient and work at maximum productivity. For the benefit of who? Who cares? All that matters is being useful. Everything from HAL to AM, this concept of an AI gone awry is a trope we've seen a million times before, but it's also such an effective one. And I was not expecting one out of this game. I mean, after Chapter 6, I don't know what I was expecting, but this still really caught me off guard. Oh yeah, and it chips Petra and Lucas.
A city in the sky. Towns and mountains eaten by a living storm.
God, this thing can even, like, read the memory of people it's chipped. It's so creepy to hear it talking about things it was never around to experience or even know about. Jesse and Ivor get the idea to distract it with a paradox.
Hey PAMA, what would you say if I told you it's weird to not be weird?
But if it is weird to not be weird, then that means that being weird is normal, which by the transitive property means that it is normal not to be.
I actually think that's kind of clever. That lady from before shows up. It drops that she created PAMA, though she doesn't seem happy about the situation at all. So there's clearly some nuance going here, and the three of us escape. She distracts the mobs chasing after us while we make a break for her underground secret lab. Wait! Okay, that's the funniest visual glitch I've seen yet in this game. One of PAMA's mobs made it down too, but it's here that it's revealed that those chips can actually be removed with water. Huh. Going deeper into the cave, we find the woman already down here. Her name is Harper, and she's voiced by Yvette Nicole Brown. Looking through her IMDb, she's done a huge variety of stuff since the early 2000s, live action or otherwise, with a bit of a lean into Disney productions more often than not. I really like this character, by the way. In fact, I go as far as to say she's probably my favorite original character from the Portal arc. She reveals herself as one of the old builders, responsible for the creation of the Portal network, which means that Harper actually knows how to build another portal to get out of here. And ironically, that is a huge problem. PAMA obtains the knowledge of people it chips, which means that if it ever captures her, it will be able to get out of here and spread its usefulness across all worlds. Harper's trying to get to the door to her lab open when Petra and Lucas alongside a bunch of spiders show up. We fight for a bit and then are given a pretty big choice. We're given an opportunity to throw one of them into the water, breaking their hold. XCage saves Petra, and we open the way into the lab, but not before Harper gets kidnapped. Our time is officially limited. We get some lore while we're in this lab. Apparently PAMA is an acronym for Prototype Autonomous Management Agent, and we see a picture of her before it became what we saw. It used to be a lot smaller, and most definitely made by Harper with the intention to help civilization before it got out of control. Also, according to the wiki, this painting right here is supposed to be a homage to this image of Steve Jobs. What a random thing to reference. Also, Telltale, you cannot do crossed legs with this body shape. It's weird that you even tried.
They look so happy.
Do they? Those are some really neutral faces. There's a big puzzle in this lab we gotta solve, and when we do, a VR headset pops out of the ground. What? Well, let's put this on and see what it can do. We find ourselves in VR chat, specifically a world with a bunch of Minecraft story mode avatars in it. Oh, it's my favorite YouTuber. Hey everybody, it's Chugger. We go ahead and pick the Ivor skin, and then we break free of the mortal Minecraft realm, take a trip to the Great Pug and order some cake before going putt-putt golfing for a bit. We then break it down on the dance floor and then go for a swim. For dinner, we decide to go to Kmart and grab some Little Caesars before going to a furry world and being an absolute menace. Hey guys, I found an Ivor skin in VR chat of all things. What in the world? He doesn't have any emotes or anything, nor does he have lip syncing, which is genuinely disappointing given that that's something I kind of associate with story mode for better or for worse. But wow, this felt weird to find. So I guess I now have 5 avatars I swap between whenever I play this game. We now have Maractus, Marluxia, Baby Mode, Howie Mandel, Louie, and now Ivor. Oh yeah, watch my VR chat video, by the way. I was very proud of how that one turned out. Oh yeah, thanks to Kier for being the cameraman for a lot of that gag. Thanks, dude. It's a big help. Thank you so much. Okay, what actually happens is... Oh, whoa, this is freaky. So what this thing does is it lets us control things that are hooked up to PAMA, particularly in this instance, a zombie. Very unusual. This feels quite surreal to be controlling a zombie like this. We build our way back up to the town, and PAMA begins to catch on to what we're doing. It has its mobs dogpile us, but just in time we discover that we can transfer our consciousness to other mobs. This is neat. We use this newfound power to link through mobs until we get up to Harper, just in time as she's about to be chipped.
Trace subroutine running.
Quick, follow me!
That's what I said.
I like that. That's a funny subversion of expectations.
You must remove the redstone heart! You can still save everyone! I'm so tired of being dragged away while I'm trying to explain things!
Well, we weren't able to save her, but we now have a new goal. Go back to Crown Mesa IRL, go inside the machine, and remove the redstone heart. We'll grab some water, since that's PAMA's ultimate weakness, and head out. Once here, we empty our pockets for more stuff we can use.
These are my last 2 potions from home. I held on to them after our Sky City adventure.
I'll take invisibility.
I didn't see that coming.
What a weird delivery. PAMA wakes up and informs us that the new exit portal is nearly complete. We don't have much time left. Let's head in. This is freaky. This is probably like one of the scariest areas in the game as well. The deep red lighting, the humming of electronics, the beating of the redstone heart, the sparse mobs crawling all over the place. Oh, and that. We have a really intense action sequence here where we bash through chipped mods and make our way up to these towers to pour water on them.
You have inflicted minor damage. Owie.
You know, this is debatably meta. Water actually can mess up redstone contraptions extremely easily, typically by a lot of the redstone elements being able to be displaced by water, although this could also be, you know, a reference to real life as well. Just as we're about to go for the final tower, chipped Harper appears. We're able to free her, make a break for the redstone heart to finish this, but then chipped Lucas appears. It's kind of obvious, but if you saved Lucas back at like the cave, then chipped Petra appears here as well.
Why keep trying, Jesse? You will only fail, just as you have failed to save Ruben.
Oh! That line really caught me off guard. This part is intense, slowly pulling out the heart while Lucas's influence goes back and forth between PAMA and himself, and the heart slowly lowering out of reach. I don't know if this is a glitch, it might be, but no music is playing during this section, and it's making this a lot more dramatic than probably any other sequence in the game. Let's pull out this heart.
I'm ready to leave this core behind.
The whole town will be waking up. You should be there to say hello.
Plus, this place gives me the creeps.
Ivor, why? We emerge to find the townsfolk waking up from their mind control and celebrating. And, oh hey, it's Balding Villager again, my favorite. They're not too happy to see Harper, though. Even if this whole ordeal was more PAMA's fault than her own, they still drive her away anyway, and even drop that they might not know how they can rebuild civilization with how PAMA left the world. And then they just leave. What a bleak note to leave the fate of these people on. What the heck? Well, regardless though, we light the exit portal and exit ourselves. Harper comes along with us too. Once back in the portal hole, Harper begins telling us that she can actually help get us home. We need a particular item called the Atlas. She punches a hole in the wall that ends up being a keyhole that we place the heart in. A secret stairway opens up, and this is our final destination. End of chapter. Wow. I really liked this part of the game. It's such an unconventional horror story, honestly. Like, between the danger of PAMA's mobs, the implication of what it could do, it's so well put together and paced, unlike anything I've really expected them to do, and probably made for my third favorite chapter in the game. So for those of you keeping track, that's my 3 favorite chapters back to back. God, the second half of the game is so cool. Like most people who play this game love the second half more than the first half for a reason. And next will be the finale. So anyway, that'll be it for this time. I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters again, Royal Blood, Sean, and Grey Wolf. Thank you all for your support, and I will see you folks later. Thanks for watching.